It kills me. It kills me when people who buy Bath and Body Works candles talk about, are your candles soy? Soy wax makes you question if you should make candles, if you're doing something wrong. Is anybody else candles looking like this? Is anybody else complaining? Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chris, and here we talk about business, candle making, and how to boss up. And in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing some soy wax tips that I wish I knew when I started making candles. So let's get into it. All right, y'all. I know how stressful soy wax can be, especially when you're a new candle maker. I already know. Because I thought soy wax made me quit making candles until I had my come to Jesus moment and decided that there's something that I really want to do. So I'm gonna give myself some grace and have some patience. I know soy wax can be so frustrating sometimes, especially as a new candle maker. We always want our candles to smell bomb, have a long life, and be the best candle. So y'all know how I do. I'm gonna start with the mine and our perspectives. And the first thing that I'm gonna say is you need to be patient. Yes, you need to be patient because, you know, if you're like me, the first batch of candles that I made were bomb, smelled bomb, were the best. Then I tried to recreate them and they were trash, complete trash. But something that I learned is soy wax is finicky and you need to document everything in order to get, you know, the same results. So be patient, have patience to start. If you're choosing soy wax, you're going to need to be patient. You need to be patient because candle making is a process, and the more that you work with it, the more comfortable you get. If you're second guessing yourself, you're just not going to give yourself grace. And I have found that when I've been frustrated, when I have second guessed myself, and when I have contemplated not doing this, I just didn't have fun. And I think you need to have fun to make candles and sell candles and to make this your business. Realistically, like, you need to find some joy in it, and you need to learn how to make fun with the learning process. So I'm gonna say be patient because it doesn't happen overnight. For some it does, but for me it didn't. And you know, you just gotta learn how to have fun. And when you mess up, you know, you gotta learn how to laugh. You gotta learn how to laugh. Mainly because you're gonna fuck up. You are going to mess up, honey. I have messed up. Have totally messed up. Completely messed up. It's gonna happen, but you have to know that that's a part of the process, and forgive yourself and give yourself some grace. This advice I actually read on a forum when I first started making candles. It was something that I just happened to, you know, take a glance at, and it really resonated with me, and it's some advice that I pass along to all new candle makers that ask me what advice do I have for them. My advice is master one candle and you'll master them all. And it's a yes and no for me, but I resonate with that because as soon as I started focusing on one scent with this one wax and perfecting that, it made making the rest of my candles so much easier, and it allowed me to focus. It allowed me to focus on one thing so that my mind didn't get so flustered when all these ideas on things that I wanted to include in my business were running rampant in my mind. Because I like to jump, I like to start all these ideas at once, and it just becomes overwhelming. And I learned that when I focused on one thing, completed that one thing, when I carried those same tactics, it just allowed me a moment to just focus, relax, and to learn. Like, I feel like when your mind is spread all over the place, it's easy to forget. It's easy to forget the process, and it's easy to always have your mind jumping from one thing to another and you're not present. And so I think master one and you'll master them all is just a metaphor for if you focus on one thing, the rest of the things become easier. So the next thing The next thing that I'm about to tell y'all is something that I question myself on all the time. I was like, why is my candle doing this? We're gonna talk about frosting. Why? Because frosting happens all the time when you're working with soy candles. And it was something that I just struggled with. I just hated looking at frosting, and it just always made me feel like I had to be doing something wrong because not all of my candles would have frosting. So I was like, if this candle don't have frosting, why does this candle have frosting? And what the fuck am I doing wrong? It just had to be something that I became okay with because it happens. It happens when you're working with soy, and it does not look cute. Especially if you're using color, or even if you have just a white candle, it makes your candle look like something's wrong with it. And my insecurity was that, what if I'm selling these candles out in public? People are gonna think something's wrong with it. People aren't gonna wanna buy it just because it looks scraggly. It looks scraggly. But when I kept doing research, when I kept connecting with other candle makers, I realized that it happens. And it's okay. Slang them candles and keep it pushing. So this other advice is, it's just something that I have to remind myself. And it is that it ain't you, it's the wax. It ain't you, it's the wax. Soy wax is so finicky, and you know, the more you work with it, the more that you learn that some of the things that happen are because of the wax, and it's not necessarily because of you, like frosting. And even sinkholes, it happens. I can't emphasize that enough. It just happens. So that is gonna be a constant thing. Soy wax make you question everything. Soy wax makes you question if you should make candles, if you're doing something wrong. Is anybody else candles looking like this? Is anybody else complaining? It happens. So I'm gonna just give y'all a little tidbit. I'm gonna just give y'all a little game. I'm gonna give y'all a little tidbit. I'm gonna let y'all in on my candle making process. I heat that wax to 160, period. Don't go no higher, don't go no less. I heat it to 160, add my wax, I add my fragrance oil 10 degrees less, let it drop 10 degrees down, add my fragrance oil, stir it, pour it, boom. I'm gonna just give y'all that. I'm gonna give y'all that because when I started doing that, it changed the game. It changed the game. Heating my wax to 160 changed the game. All right. So this is what I'm gonna tell y'all that I learned the hard way, and I wish it was just more talked about. So I'm gonna start this conversation here with y'all, and I just wish that it was talked about more, about how candle making guides are just a starting point. It's just a start. It's not the answer. Honestly, you know, I talked about this in another video, but like these guides are a starting point, and they're there to help you figure out what you need to do for your candle, because candle making is science. You dabbling in science, girl? Go ahead and call yourself a scientist. It's science, and heat and fragrance oils, chemicals, like they need to marry, and candle making guides are just a guide, and you have to play around with it. You need to have patience, and you just need to figure out your process. And once you figure out your process, that's what's gonna work for you. Like, you don't know what other people's candles smell like when you're reading these guides, when you're watching these videos, when you're doing this and doing that and doing that. You don't know. So what may seem like a strong fragrance hot throw to someone, maybe a low fragrance hot throw, you know? Or what could be a good cold throw, maybe a bad cold throw to you, and you may not consider that a strong scent. So I would say, you know, these are just guides. And something that I have to keep in mind, and I'm sure y'all can attest to this, is that when you stay making candles, your senses kind of weaken. I feel like I make candles and I'm like, man, this doesn't smell as strong as I wanted to smell. But then other people have smelled my candles and they like, whoo, girl, this smells good. This smells good. And I realized that, like, you know, I be cooking up in the kitchen, and maybe, just maybe, I just become used to this scent. So it's not as strong as I would like it to be to me. So keep that in mind. All right. This is up there. This is up there with my top tip. And this is something that I had to realize. Just had to realize. Some fragrance oils are just trash. They're just trash. That's it. It don't matter what you do. That fragrance oil, that one right there, that fragrance oil is just trash. There have been so many fragrance oils that I have loved in the bottle. In the bottle though. And once I transferred that fragrance oil into a candle, it's just not the same. And I used to beat myself up about it. I used to question my candle making skills. And I just had to realize that some fragrance oils are just trash. And they can smell so strong in the bottle, but they should stay in the bottle. And keep in mind, some fragrance oils are for soaps as well. So it may be strong in a soap, but not strong in a candle. All right, so this is my last advice. And it's just a tip. It's just like a keep in mind. That should be the title of this video. Keep in mind. Soy candles do soot. Period. Don't let nobody lie to you. Soy candles do soot. And soy candles soot. And I feel like sooting has more to do with the wicks and the fragrance oil than anything else. And I hear so many people, when I tell people I make candles, it kills me. It kills me when people who buy Bath & Body Works candles talk about, are your candles soy? And I'm like, yeah, but you know your Bath & Body Works candle ain't no soy candle. That's besides the point. Soy candles soot. I personally, ain't backed by nothing, but I personally feel like soot comes from the mixture of chemicals and the wick. You're burning something, so it's gonna smoke. It's going to smoke. And I'm gonna have to make a whole nother video for this, but don't be fooled. It happens. But don't beat yourself up about it. So that's pretty much it. I hope this helps to all my new candle makers. If I missed anything, or if you wish you knew something about this soy wax life, comment it down below so that we can start a conversation for all the new candle makers who may not know, who may have questions. If you do have questions, you know, comment them too, so we can all help. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. You told me I could trust you. Don't die. I could really use it. Everybody need love, niggas like me. You told me I could trust